today's video, we are going to do another reseller recap, and we're finally going to be talking about the Poshmark live shows and everything that's going on there, so make sure you stay till the end for that.
Let's get straight into the numbers. We cover quite a lot. It's goals, bolos, everything that you can think of in our reseller recaps. So, goals. How do we feel we did?
Oh no, we did terrible. As we've been saying in a lot of our videos, we are dealing with burnout, but there's also a lot going on with Poshmark. Like I'm just gonna put that out there. There's a lot going on.
Also, life happens. It's my birthday month. It's Thanksgiving, holiday season. Like that stuff gets in the way.
Sure. Go ahead, numbers man.
So our goal is around 205 a day, and we averaged well short of that at 155. So not great, but it's certainly not your worst month.
No. Definitely not that.
So with Poshmark dragging a bit, it finished with 1652, which is not great. You want to see that number in the 2 to 3 range to hit your goal. And then eBay, a respectable 2466. So still not exactly where you want to be, but certainly much closer to your target. Mercari bringing in a solid $155.
Go Mercari.
So with Mercari at 155, it brings us to 4273, which is about $1,700 shy, which is not great, but it is a stretch goal for you, and sometimes not hitting your goals is to be expected when you set an aggressive goal to start with.
Yeah, now I will say that this month I've been probably at my worst business-wise, so not sourcing as much, not listing as much, so definitely have to take some accountability there, working on getting back on track, but I gotta say, the way Poshmark is right now is not motivating. Definitely, I think we're all experiencing sales slowdowns, and, you know, we'll go into some conspiracy theories towards the end of this video, but the slowdown is definitely demotivating, so if you're experiencing that, you are not alone, and let me know in the comments below how you are dealing with the slowdown in sales. What are you doing to try and pivot? Are you going to different platforms? Are you trying special tricks? Let us know, because we're going to be definitely experimenting and seeing what we can do. But yeah, this month definitely told me I need to figure something out, because Poshmark is no longer my highest selling platform.
All right. In other news, we had a reasonably strong month for YouTube. We finished at 144, which is right in line with almost our best month ever. We are very thankful that YouTube is seeming to pick up, and we couldn't do it without all of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to everyone that watches, subscribes, especially the channel members. We need to do more for you because you are what keep us going.
Absolutely.
To be honest.
We will be doing a video probably come January. I'm just summing up the whole year and how we feel about how we've done on YouTube so far, how we've done in our reselling business, you know, everything by the numbers. So look forward to that. But yeah, YouTube is trending in a positive direction. There's definitely more that we want to see and do. So stay tuned for changes that might be coming. But I think right now we got to be happy with that. Now, with that, we have also started to get collab requests.
Yeah, so that is an experience, to say the least. It is both encouraging but also hysterically bad so far.
Yes.
For the ones that we've received.
So we are still very small in the world of YouTube. Very small. We're like peons, so we don't get genuine collab requests at this point in time. I think we've only gotten one previously that was actually real. Beyond that, we don't get anything real. But we do get some funny ones that give us a good laugh. So I mean, that's worth something, right? So the first one, I'm not going to give you names of people and things like that, but this one says, I'm a fan of you on YouTube. I love watching your videos, and I also love your personality. You're confident and different, and I think that's why me and the fans love you so much. I have an online store, and I would like to invite you to promote. My main product is high-quality replica shoes. In all caps. I hope you can give me a chance to cooperate with you for a long time. Please let me know your opinion whenever you have free time. Thank you for reading my message.
So we should call the feds, I think. That's a crime. That's definitely not something we can do on Posh.
Yeah, they really just kind of put it out there. Like if you guys didn't know, selling counterfeit is very much illegal, and it's very strange that they would reach out to a channel who sells stuff online to commit a crime. It seems a little strange.
Yeah.
Seems a little strange. So needless to say, we didn't take that collab. Another collab that we received, it says, "It's my honor for you to read this email. Hope everything is doing great." This is person from person place. We specialize in men's underwear for many years to make better underwear which could perfectly fit men's reproductive structure. We got an idea to design underwear with 2 pouches, and they give the website, said we saw you on YouTube and love your videos, and we would like to collab, essentially. So what do you think about underwear for your reproductive structure?
I mean, it's better than committing a federal crime.
It is. I don't know if it fits our niche.
It's not our vibe.
Also,
it's
how would we market it? Do you need to model on camera?
No. Absolutely not. Under no circumstances will that ever happen. No. Just flat out no.
So far, those are the clap requests we have received, and they are definitely worth a laugh, but we will only promote things on this channel if we genuinely believe in it. So, as of right now, we have not accepted anything.
All right. Getting those hysterics out of the way, let's move on to some sourcing highlights and bolos. So, we're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to do things that we found recently that we're really excited about, and then a couple things that have sold for really great money.
Yeah. So, what do you want to start with?
So let's start with the things that we're really excited about.
Okay.
First is a pair of jeans.
Yep. Now, these jeans I found all by myself, so I get all the credit.
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
So these are the Row. I don't know if you can see that. I'll put the tag in if you can't. But the Row, we've talked about it a bunch on our channel. This is the Mary-Kate
and Ashley brand. Very, very, very high-end designer. These are a light wash button fly jean, and they were $12, which is high for jeans for us. We don't generally spend that much, but for the Row, if you know, you know, that is fine. That is more than fine.
You can spend up to $20-$30 on the Row, and you're going to get out of it. I mean, you spent $30 on a pair of shoes. You sold for $200 something.
Yeah, so absolutely. If you see the Row, pick it up.
Always worth it. The next is a pair of calf boots.
Calf? Yeah,
calf. We'll go calf. These are Jimmy Choo. I will also put that on, and we'll have to take a close-up picture of it, I suppose.
Yes. So these are Jimmy Choo boots. They are leather. They are pointed toe. I'm probably going to use the key term whimsy goth on these because they definitely fit that aesthetic. There is a little bit of wear on the toe here. I don't know how well you can see it, but there definitely is wear there.
There's a little bit of wear. That can be cleaned up a little bit. Other than that, they're in almost new condition.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no scuffing on the back heel, really, which is always a problem on heels.
But they're really nice. If you are looking for boots, I would suggest, because most of the thrift stores have them hung up on those little hangers, and it's right here on the top, just start flipping the shoes over and looking at the soles. You can tell a lot about a shoe by the sole. If for high-end designers, what you're trying to look for is this kind of leather sole, and then you want etched in brand name and size on the bottom, and Euro sizing also is a good indication. Yeah. So
the Veros leather on the bottom is just a
good sign.
An instant positive sign to at least look it up.
Yeah.
Now, moving on to the things that are selling that you should be on the lookout for.
Yeah.
So the first is going to be the Laxin jacket.
Yes. Now, we actually showed you guys this in a thrift with me that we did in Virginia. We were really excited about this. We did pay up for it, but we told you we thought it was going to sell for a good amount of money, and it did.
Sold for $212, which that is in line with all of our best sales. I mean, with a few exceptions, that is towards the top.
Yeah. So we picked this up for a few reasons. The first reason was that it is a hunting jacket, and the second for me was that it was made in Austria. We've said before, made in countries like Austria, Germany, Ireland,
Scotland, Iceland, anywhere that is not something normal that you would see for fast fashion. It's always worth a look up. Any of the wealthy hobbies, hunting, horseback riding, etc., is always a good indication that it's worth looking up. People that have a crazy, stupid amount of money are willing to pay a crazy, stupid amount of money for things.
Absolutely.
As it happens. All right. The next one is going to be a hideous jacket. Orla Keeley, it was like a pink, brown, camo-ish kind of thing. It was odd.
Yeah, you will see that on the screen here. This is something we also paid up for. I actually couldn't find anything about this specific jacket. After doing a lot of digging, I found out that this was made popular by the royal family. So if you don't know, anything that's worn by the royal family definitely has value. You need to look up those brands. This was also something that was a very limited run. It was a niche designer. There was just a lot of things going for it. So even though there weren't comps out there, I decided to give it a shot. Did sit for a while, but sold for a decent amount of money.
Sold for $120, so you can't complain about that. And so the last one is going to be a pair of Tory Burch boots, similar to the Jimmy Choos we just showed you. They're tall black leather boots. Always worth a pickup. I think we paid up for those a little bit as well, but totally worth it. Sold for $110. So.
Yeah, and this one's even better because it previously sold for $85, but the person never paid, so it got relisted and sold for more. So gotta love when that happens.
Now, moving on to our own personal drama. We've heard you. We've accepted the criticism. We are sorry to our viewers. We are sorry to everyone that we made that public. We should have kept it in the privacy of our own home. For those of you confused with what I'm talking about, the packing scandal of one of our last videos. I got roasted for cutting out a Mercari FedEx label rather than printing it on the label maker. And I'm sorry that I offended everyone. I have brought shame and dishonor on myself and my family.
Now, of course, obviously he is kidding. I actually found it really funny looking through the comments that there was a lot of comments about him cutting out a label and how, like, he shouldn't be doing that. And I was so confused because we have a label maker and we don't cut out labels. So I ended up asking him and he was like, oh, there was one Mercari item, so one Mercari. We sell about, on average, between 1 and
Five,
maybe a little bit more if we're really lucky, Mercari packages ever. And then also to note, we don't print out Mercari labels when they go to USPS. We use the QR code. So this one particularly was FedEx, which is even less of an amount. So we didn't even really think about it until the video went live. So I'm really sorry that we didn't even consider that that was happening. But a lot of you guys gave really great insight on things you can do if you are struggling with the Mercari label.
The answer is always in the comments.
Yes.
And so the first one, and this is probably the easiest one, is you can actually get free FedEx pouch label holders. And I knew that, but I didn't know it. So thank you for reminding me and bringing that to my top of mind awareness.
And what I didn't know about those pouches is that apparently you can remove the backing and it'll no longer say FedEx, so you can use it for anything you want to use it for, which I wasn't aware of. So it's really cool to know, and we'll be looking at that. We don't do it enough, but you know, if we can ever get Mercari to kick it out of the park, we're definitely going to need that information.
And then the second thing, somebody gave me a step-by-step process for being able to print them on the label maker, doing a little bit of editing on the computer itself to print it out from there, which I certainly didn't know was possible. I do appreciate it. I just think it's a little bit more difficult than going to the post office and using the QR code or cutting out one label every month or so.
It's a little above his pay grade, I think is what he's saying. But I think it is really helpful, especially for those of you who are killing it on Mercari. I know a lot of you guys are Mercari kings and queens. So for those of you guys that are doing that, if you are struggling with either of these problems, these are great tips. So I wanted to make sure that we pass them along to you, because even though they can't help us necessarily, I'm sure they're going to help somebody else.
On to some cautionary tales from eBay. It is important that we try to share things that come up that are causing problems, and eBay is causing problems in the Levi jeans market by not allowing them to be sold through the global shipping program.
Yes, so this is actually not a new thing per se. This is actually something that happened quite a while ago, but I know it's new to me in my business. I had about 10 or 15 Levi's items included on eBay in the global shipping program, and I didn't even think about it. And then I came across a Facebook post where they were talking about it, and they said that you cannot have Levi's in the global shipping program because you'll get Veroed. And I was so confused about this, and I ended up delisting all of my Levi's items on eBay because I didn't want to have to like do some global shipping and not some global shipping. That was a pain in the butt. So I did that. But then I looked deeper into it to try and figure out what's going on. Why is Levi's being Veroed? What is happening? So do you want to give a quick rundown? So
basically there's a conflict with the brand Levi's and the European Union arguing over the trademark value of a third-party vendor in the European Union, selling them at a discount to their price point, and they won that case. And it's a very clear sign that they are going to protect Levi's in that instance, and eBay is going to side with Levi and put Veros on things, especially if they're going to the European Union. It seems to be primarily focused on new Levi's, but there have been accounts of people having Veros for the used Levi's in the global shipping program, so just be very, very mindful and careful about that, and run the business how you want, but be mindful that you can run into the consequences and have your account suspended or shut down. Yes, and if you're curious about what the case was, this was Levi's against Tesco, so it's a pretty big case. I don't think specifically they're focused on resellers at all in this case, although they do say for resale, but it does apply to us and we should definitely follow the law.
So if you are selling new tags Levi's, you definitely cannot sell them to the European Union, especially if it's for less than the price it was originally being sold for. If you're a reseller, it is. And I would just proceed with caution with selling any Levi's to the European Union.
Sell them in the United States. Don't sell them abroad is basically the best case, best answer.
Yeah. So I'm curious, how many of you guys knew this? How many of you guys have to remove some of those Levi's items from the global shipping program? Let me know in the comments. I really want to know if I was the only one. Please tell me I'm not. Okay, so let's talk about why you guys are probably all here talking about the Posh Lives. Now, you guys have left us comments. You have asked us questions. You all want to know how we feel about what has been going on with Posh Lives, and I've kind of just stayed quiet for a bit because I wanted to kind of see how things played out, but we have thoughts.
There's a lot. It's not just the lives, honestly. There's a whole lot of conspiracies that I can't wait to get into that are just all about dumping on Poshmark, which is just the best thing ever.
Now, before I let Mr. Negativity take over, I do want to say I still believe there is a place for lives. I do see that some people really enjoy them. Some people make a lot of money on them. This is not something that would be a fit for me or my business. The cost of goods don't match what I would need to have to make that profitable. I also just don't really love live selling. It's very draining for somebody with social anxiety. There's a lot of things that I just don't enjoy, but I am perfectly happy with people making their bag however they're able to do that. However, things on Posh Lives right now are a mess, and
deliciously bad.
Poshmark needs to have some rules. They need to put some kind of format in place or some kind of at least guidelines, because buyers are going to be clicking onto these lives and turned off of the platform forever if we don't do something. So I just wanted to kind of give you some insight on some stuff that's going on. The first thing that I'm sure everyone has heard about is silent auctions. I personally am not a fan. I know some people really love them. They give a way for people who have social anxiety like myself to use the live platform. A lot of people are using it as a way to combat what is believed to be a bump in sales as soon as you do a live. So people that don't want to do it but still want to get that bump are doing that, and I totally understand the reasoning. I just really don't understand the concept, and I don't like them. How do you feel about silent auctions?
So, I mean, I think it's just a form of malicious compliance, which is being petty because Poshmark is doing something you don't like, and there's nothing wrong with being petty. If there's one thing in the world I understand, it is being petty and ruining someone's day because they are doing something that they shouldn't be doing. It is something that I am a big believer in because karma is real, and you might as well be the karma that someone deserves occasionally.
Now, as from a perspective of a shopper, I do think they are a bit of a turnoff. You are walking into a blank screen and there's really no kind of direction as to what's going on. It can be really kind of confusing and jarring. I don't like it, but I totally understand why people are doing it. Don't knock people that are. But there are other things that I'm gonna knock you for doing. There are people that are doing shopping in the store. Now, we can't say too much negative about that because we've done live thrifts before, but they are basically going live and only purchasing the items that people are purchasing on the lives, and a lot of people really hate that. Now, I know it was really popular and whatnot as well. I don't know if Poshmark wants to allow that. I guess they can allow that, but again, I think there needs to be guidelines, and I also don't know if stores would love that.
Well, there's a whole lot of problems with all of it. There has to be some kind of moderation. Having said that, I have no interest in helping Posh fix lives because I would just assume they die. I want to not think about them, not do them, not talk about them. I would assume that they not exist altogether because I can't for the life of me see the value.
Now, if they're going to continue, I would like to see them cleaned up. There has been reports of people smoking a joint on live. There have been reports of some wardrobe malfunctions. You can imagine what that might mean. There have been reports of people not selling at all, doing things such as painting classes and yoga, and people having fights on live and saying a lot of things that are very inappropriate and nobody would want to walk into. But they have been a mess. They have been all over the board, and as far as I can tell, Poshmark has not really moderated these in any way. And if I remember correctly, they did state that they're not going to have moderators. Now, I don't know if that's changed. We have never been part of a training, so if you guys know,
that is a terrible problem for Poshmark. It comes down to being more damaging to the platform as a whole as a bad experience for someone that stumbles into the live. So I don't want them to fix it for the live itself. I want them to fix it so that people don't leave. People people check out Poshmark and then go, nope, that's not a thing that I am interested in. I that's not appropriate to be online without any kind of warning about it being not safe for work or objectionable content. There has to be some quality control there to provide a more uniform experience for a shopper.
Yeah. Now, another major issue that I have right now is the marketing. Now, I do know that there has been so many speculations as to why marketing has been reduced for Poshmark, and that's not really what I'm talking about right now. But there has been all marketing regarding lives and nothing else. Everything is live, live, live. I think just today they're offering $1,000 or maybe it's $500. I will put a screenshot here so you can see. But they are offering money for shopping lives. They're also offering hours where they have shipping discounts specifically for shopping lives. But those of us who are not part of these live sales don't get to benefit from any of this. And it would be totally fine if they were doing both. But they're not doing both. They don't have hours for regular sellers that are selling and then also live seller hours. They don't have that. They only have lives right now. So they're very much pushing that, and I definitely feel it is impacting sales. I definitely have noticed a slowdown. I can put here my closet insights for the year, and as you can see, the algorithm slowdown
dropped off a cliff.
Yeah,
that's bad.
The algorithm issue actually didn't really hurt me all that much. I was able to adapt. I was able to overcome. I even helped some of you guys do that, but I can't overcome this. So there is something going on. But there's also some other conspiracy theories out there going on.
Yeah, hold on. Yep, now I'm ready. So, tinfoil hat me conspiracy theory thinks there's a lot of really not well thought out conspiracies related to Poshmark. There's a rumor that they want to tank things for lives somehow.
Tank their sales
to get out of the deal with Naver, which makes no sense because if they were to be worse of a company, that just means that Naver has to pay less money for them or not buy them at all.
Yeah, and to give context for this conspiracy theory, basically what people are thinking is that they are either allowing lives to continue when they realize that they are doing poorly, which, again, we don't have stats on that. Lives could be doing great for them, and we just don't like them. I don't know. Or two, that they are not marketing enough outside of the platform itself and not bringing in new buyers. You know, look at Secondhand Sunday, how little that was marketed. All of those things people are pointing to saying, look, Poshmark isn't even trying. They're obviously trying to tank their company, which I couldn't see being real because as we all know as business owners, if you tank your company, you can't just flip a light switch and bring it back. That's not how that works. So I can't imagine a company making that decision.
Well, it's almost the same kind of lazy thinking back when the rumors were going around about selling their data and they don't care about sales anymore. It's all about your data. They're doing both. So they're doing lives and they're still trying to sell things. There's no incentive for them to stop selling things. There is not a single reason that you would want as a business to make less income. Like that's just the opposite of why you have a business. That doesn't make any sense. And people that are saying that that's the case don't understand anything. Like it just doesn't make sense.
Now, can I share my conspiracy theory?
Sure, go ahead.
So, my conspiracy theory is that we are noticing a downward trend in sales, but there is actually a reason for this, and I'm not going to say it's a good reason, but I think that what is going on right now is Poshmark is trying to find out how the lives are doing overall after adding in new tools. As we've seen, they're trying to add in the bundles. They've added in ways that you can like sell other people's items. They're adding in all these things. So they want to see, does this stuff impact whether or not people are using lives? So they're looking for analytics. They're looking for, was this a thing that was really trendy and then died off? Is it that it wasn't really well done at the beginning and it's going to get better? They're looking for analytics. Now they're pushing as much as they are with the lives, in my opinion, because it needs to be marketed. It's a new thing and they need to get it out there. And as you know, in marketing, you have to touch something about 10 times before you actually purchase it. So they need to get that marketing out there. And I also do believe that it might be something that they have agreed upon with Naver, that they have to do X amount of marketing or X amount of time trying this out before they can make any adjustments. I think it might have been part of the deal. So they really do need to push these lives and I hate it, but I do think that might be part of it. So I really think that we're seeing them kind of saying, I know we're going to see a decrease, but we need the data. The data is more important than the sales right now. That's my personal opinion.
So it's running an experiment and going into it with your thought process of either going to be a positive or negative result, running it and being objective about it and seeing whether or not you are right. So if it is a bad thing for the platform, they want to know that. They want to know if there is a way to fix it or realize and come to the conclusion that it's not a feasible thing to do.
Yeah.
Which you're not going to get without months and months of data.
Yeah. And your feedback matters. I do think that all of this stuff that you guys are saying, you know, that you hate lives because it's clogging up your notifications, you hate lives because it's devaluing the platform, all of these things, I do think that that is also valuable data for them so that they can understand what it is that is the problem and is it fixable or is it something that it just means they shouldn't use that tool. I do think that matters. Now, do I think that live is the future of Poshmark? That I don't know yet. I'm terrified that it could be. I don't think we have data for that yet, but I think that they're not trying to tank their platform. I think they're looking for data.
I think that's fair. I think you're not going to get any meaningful feedback from the user base when things are going well. You're only going to get feedback and criticism when people are unhappy.
Yeah, and we are the perfect example of being the loudest critics. If you want to see how we feel about the rest of Poshmark's issues in the platform, make sure you click this video link here. We go into detail about all the things we think Poshmark should fix, but we also tell you the things we love about Poshmark.